Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello, everyone. Steve, are you okay? You look like you're going to go jogging or something, like not recording our hot top of the pops topical comedy show.
Yeah, I am wearing loungewear, as I think it's called, of all the different genre of styles, because I'm ill and I've stopped trying.
Oh.
I've got the lurgy.
Could you put a
again.
mask on? If we're doing the show this close together, I mean, look how close we are. Could you? No, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
No, because that's a screenshot that would haunt us. No, I've got all the things. I got the Sudafed spray.
Oh.
First defense, not done me much good. So, mutually assured destruction. I was the only one in the house who didn't get this thing. So everyone else,
right?
They were all getting ill with it, and I was like, I think because I had one day of a slightly runny nose and then got better, and I thought, well, that's how you bosh that out. Boom. It was something else. I don't know what had happened. So yeah, I'm ill.
Well, physically now as well, to go with the various mental. Yeah. So, but we hopefully will have problems to solve. So it's good that, so this isn't live, but it is live at the point of recording.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
I'm still alive as far as we know.
Yeah. Well, actually, when this recorded, you were alive, but it goes out automatically.
Yeah, that's true, actually. And then the stream stops, so we won't know until next week if I'm dead or not.
That could be a viral hit.
This is a viral hit.
That could be something.
Am I right?
You're a walking viral hit. Welcome to the show. Oh God, here we go. Just edit that out in the post.
Absolutely.
So you guys won't have seen that, but where we solve problems. We've been doing it for. We started this in the pandemic of 1917, and have been doing it ever since. The Wi-Fi has gotten much better since then, I have to say. It was Morse code back then. And back and forth, and we've got problems we're solving. You can join us in the chat. You can like the show. You can subscribe. You can come around the house if you want. You can walk the dog. Don't go to Steve's. Don't go to Steve's. He's in quarantine. But all of those things that are there. And if you enjoy what we're doing and want to help Steve get medicine to heal himself and become a better human again, the Ko-fi link is there.
More of this. This stuff ain't cheap these days.
More of this.
Not to be sniffed at.
Look at that. He still comes up with bad puns.
Still got it.
Still got it. So we got to get straight into this shit. So Steve, hit me with a problem.
Okay. This is a very important problem that people need to be speaking about because it's crucial to a lot of important people who've been affected by this. This is the flu. Now, I don't know where these ideas come from. The muse descended, and I realized it's time that we talk about people getting colds and flus and things. Because I don't think there's enough sympathy out there for those, not thinking of anyone specifically, but those people who are suffering with a bad cough, a runny nose that they've taken sprays for so they can film a thing. You know, achy bones, all that stuff. And a lot of people now will be thinking, oh, he's got man flu. Ooh. And that's this time of year, isn't it? It's man flu time of year when newspapers start talking about this man flu phenomena. And we see in The Independent, get rid of the term man flu, study says. And I agree with it because it seems sexist, doesn't it? There was a news story about Argos having to change their signs that offered a 2-man delivery because it was sexist. And the newspaper, of course, called it woke as if it was new, as if... Do you remember back in the 80s when people were saying, oh, you shouldn't say chairman, you should say chair of the meeting? How is that? The same thing happens now, and it's modern and it's woke. It happened in the 80s, for crying out. I always say, if you put the word unisex in instead of gender fluid, all of a sudden people are like, yeah, that's just a normal thing. Unisex trousers, whatever. They're making gender fluid school uniforms. Anyway, so that's the thing. Argos, by the way, they did change the signs, and rightly so. They were saying that they'd offer a 2-man delivery. We don't know it's going to be men. Now, obviously, they either changed the signs or Argos could have said, don't worry, we won't hire women. I'm not sure that would have helped. So I think they picked the right option. But we should get rid of the term man flu because it is inherently sexist because it speaks about one gender in a disparaging way. That's not what that survey's saying. The study says get rid of the term man flu because, apparently, according to it, There's no significant gender difference between men and women who suffer symptoms such as runny noses, headaches, chills, or lack of sleep. Now, that's good in a sense, saying that we have the similar level of suffering. So, and if you read in other newspapers, it actually said in some of the studies, those symptoms, runny nose, lack of sleep, those ones, were actually slightly less in men. So women were having a harder time of it. No one came up with a phrase for that, I guess, because bird flu's taken. Am I right? Hey, up top. But the idea is that there's no gender difference when it comes to runny noses, lack of sleep, and coughs, right? Beautiful, beautiful. The same study did also point out, however, the researchers posited that women may recover more quickly due to the interaction of sex hormones within the immune system. So men and women get the same level of symptoms, but women don't get it for as long. But you can't say that they have it better. No, there's no such thing as man flu, that men have it worse because the symptoms go on for longer. Nah, that's not right at all. Also, in 2017, a Canadian study found that adult men are more susceptible to complications and higher mortality. So, yeah, we get slightly better runny noses. We do die more, but the runny noses are the same. So why would you call it man flu? Why would you say it's worse for men when we get the same cough for a bit longer until we die? But the coughs are better. So rein it in. And this is the kind of rant which I should go at all the time. Why do we have this concept of like trying to see who can have it worse? The man flu or the opposite shouldn't be in there. You know, if someone's ill, you should probably be like, oh, I'll have some sympathy for someone who's ill. Why do people in their relationships have to play a quick round of their new game, you think you've got it bad? It's the game that's no fun for all the family. This competitive who gets it badder is pointless. Yeah. No one thinks through the next steps, do they? Like, so if you're ill and your partner doesn't give you any sympathy and just goes, oh, man flu, they're likely to catch whatever it is you've got. And then when they come down with the symptoms and you think, oh, should I be nice and kind about it? No, and we're just a race to the bottom in like not caring if the partner's ill. Honestly, I don't understand why we have the need to try and outdo who does the illest. And I say that as someone who is definitely the illest right now. So, man flu.
So you've won. You've won.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's just man flu, and I'll simply just have it for longer and die. But yes, it's man flu.
But to me, when I hear man flu, I don't think of an actual clinical thing of who has it worse when they're actually sick. It's just that, some men are big, whingy when they get sick and might, for example, open a topical comedy show they do by complaining about it, where women in a topical comedy show would just, pop up a kid when they're on the show and no one would even notice.
Oh, that they're hardier. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? That when man flu, when the research was saying men get it worse, I've had people say, no, you don't actually get it worse, you just moan more. When that research said that for some of the symptoms, women get it worse, just crickets. No one dare say the opposite. Kind of, no, we'll just
But when you're talking about things like research, I mean, that's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah. Yep. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? So, yeah, I thought we'd talk about, I think it was an interesting story that it was even printed and published, but it's this time of year when newspapers love to have a man flu story.
Yeah. There is, because we've both done this long enough that there are just certain times of year, like when they change the clocks, that's when they have sleep experts come on, and the newspapers just, there's only so many things to talk about. But I suppose, in life, in personality, you only talk about the weather with your neighbors, or once you have kids on the school run, then you're talking about the local school. Humans are ultimately very dull.
Yep.
And that's important to remember. You think you're interesting. Well, you're not.
This is why I hate small talk, because small talkers, asking the question is more important to them than listening to the answer. Because the question's pointless. How's work? And you start to answer and you realize they're not even paying attention and they're filling up someone else's glass. Like, these people are not good.
Right. Well, sorry, I zoned out what you were saying there.
I was going to say, don't make me laugh. Normally not a problem.
Yeah, I usually don't. So, now I don't have. So are we done talking about your man flu?
I will definitely bring it up again. Don't worry about that.
All right. I got so far. I'm so irritated by this story. I didn't even know where to begin, because what's happening is, as you know, it's big. I want to avoid being trapped in my own media bubble. I'm a very balanced person. I had a show called Radical Centrist at the Edinburgh Fringe, which managed to create so little excitement from the left and the right that no one reviewed the show. That's how well I was. That's how good I was at creating that middle line, right? So I strive for balance. I strive to look at both sides of issues. If I get challenged by liberal friends, I will watch Fox News. I will go on right-wing media. I will do these things. And then when I see my right-wing friends, I will look at what they've done and I will research things. And they've brought up things that I didn't know were going on. And I've researched issues around gender equality, around the trans debate that's happening, around Hunter Biden's laptop, which has become a big news story again. And every time I research these things, especially looking at what my right-wing people say, and they go, Eric, what you need to do is the research. Do the research. They're coming for your daughter. They stole the election. And what's happening is every time I do the research, I'm getting more left-wing. I don't want to be this left-wing. I'm going to be fucking out there stopping the oil soon. It's driving me bonkers because I just like so the latest thing is Twitter, the Twitter files. Elon Musk released the evidence, the hardcore evidence that the election was swung by the Biden administration, the US government telling Twitter what to do. But Biden wasn't in the government when they sent emails to Twitter asking that pictures of Hunter Biden's dick be taken off the internet. That's how they swung the election. I don't know how big Hunter Biden's dick is, but it must be the big one they were talking about in the emails that they claim was about his father. I think his dick is so big he was snorting cocaine off his own cock. That's how big it was.
That's pretty big. Or he's flexible.
He's flexible. That's true. You could be quite flexible. I mean, I don't know how. But anyway, the point is, so what the whole story, because the whole Hunter Biden thing, and I've talked to experts in the U.S. on my podcast, American Exchange, check it out. And it's just, Hunter Biden was a troubled man. He had some dodgy deals. Jared Kushner just made a $2 billion deal with the Saudis. Where was Jared Kushner working for the last 4 years? In the White House. How many times has Hunter Biden worked in the White House? He doesn't. And they weren't even in government when this all happened. So they're saying that this story, so originally there was a story in the New York Post owned by a really very fair and balanced gentleman that had no interest in swinging the election one way or the other, named Rupert Murdoch. We all know he's very impartial and never has tried to influence any elections whatsoever himself. His paper published a big story on Hunter Biden just a few weeks before the election. Twitter suppressed it because they said it might be Russian misinformation because Russians pumped out a lot of information before 2016. Maybe they've done it again. So they pause. It could be misinformation. It wasn't verified yet. It's taken time. The laptop was indeed his. That has been verified. The emails in it don't definitively prove anything. Hunter Biden is under investigation by the Justice Department run by his own father's appointee. Hasn't stopped that investigation. How many times did Donald Trump allow people to be investigated in his family? You know what? You need to do the research on that. Well, I've done that. No times. So people in the campaign, not in the government, asked Twitter to take down the dick pics. That's the story. People in the government working for Donald Trump were also emailing Twitter. And that is the definition of suppressing free speech. The government influencing what you or I can say.
Yeah.
So they basically proved that the government influencing Twitter was the Trump administration.
Yes. But
I don't care about this. I don't want to research this. I've got other things to do. I'm trying to catch up on Sex Education, the TV show, because one of my teenage kids has watched it, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they've seen. I've got stuff to do.
That you point out, I'm trying to catch up on Sex Education, the TV show, not the general area of academics.
I know about it. I got 2 kids and a dog. Okay.
Okay, maybe you've done more advanced stuff than I have if there's a dog involved. Yeah, the problem with it is, at the moment, and maybe this extra information would help, but it's the spectre of, here's a thing that we don't know about that the right have used. And we've said it on this show, that it doesn't matter what you talk about, the response from right-wing people on Twitter will always be, but what about Hunter Biden's laptop? But now
and the
you
one,
get the info. I don't know. It's still.
and one of the people who I like, and he's very good, and he's done very well about being this right-wing provocateur. And he did the tweet about this is, left-wing media are not taking this whole Twitter story seriously enough. It's not being covered at all. And all you have to do is type into your fucking phone, Hunter Biden laptop Twitter, and just Washington Post, New York Times, blah, 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 blah. But he's getting retweets and likes and views that we're not getting.
Well, I mean, you could always pivot. You could always just start going, what about the laptop? Yeah, what about the tablet? I mean, I'm sure this goes deeper than just a laptop.
What is that? What about his abacus? Did you know he had an abacus where he was counting all the money that he was? I don't know. But it's making me more woke. I don't want to be this woke.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I should be getting more conservative.
We were reviewing this on a telly show, and at the end of it, they were saying, so I think the message is, the take-home message of this is that we should have more open communication right from the start. And I said, the take-home message is to use a Linux laptop with an encrypted file space and use the Tor browser. You idiots. So that's what I do, anyway.
Yeah, it's not a very good advertisement for whatever that computer repair shop was that Hunter dropped his computer at.
Yeah.
Because the guy took the laptop to Rudy Giuliani. That's one of the reasons why the Western, mainstream media wasn't exactly thinking, oh, this is a good source of information.
But then the other thing, another area of blame is obviously Hunter Biden, because he can't be.
Oh, yeah.
But he can't be badly off financially. Buy another laptop. I do. I've never
he left
had
it there
one
for like
repaired.
3 months. That's the thing. He didn't return.
Yeah. Having said that, I've got a bike being repaired at the moment where they said it'd take a day, and it's been in for like a week and a half. But on my bike, there are no pictures of me snorting anything off my own something. I don't think.
Not that kind of bike.
Didn't check the basket before I left.
Some old VHS tapes.
Yeah.
So it's having the opposite. Maybe this is some sort of right-wing. Maybe it's a left-wing conspiracy to make people speak right-wing. So you do the research and become more left-wing.
Clever. So it can't be the left-wing thing. They're too busy having a row with themselves. Beautiful. Right. So we've got 9 minutes left or something. We'll go through some just other news stories. Sure. Unsurprisingly, normally there's a lot of prep and stuff that goes into this bit, but I'm ill. So let's move on. So we'll bring up the screenshots. There we go. Last ever Tasmanian tiger discovered hidden in museum's cupboard, forgotten about for decades. If we scroll down, we can see a picture of it. And I don't think it's going to survive. I've got bad news for the chance of them actually ever breeding from it. So
it's like Flat Stanley.
And that's all I've got on that one. There we go. Oh, look, you can see. Yeah, it's not looking well. I mean, don't get me wrong. That fasting diet pays off, but...
he took the intermittent part a little too literally.
Yeah, it's on the fasting bit. There's a big long gap. Then also I spotted this story. Furious mum shields son's eyes from explicit sex scene during a flight. So there were, some rude stuff. And it happens. People watch ruder stuff than they should. Although sometimes it's if you've got a laptop out and you're watching a film, and sometimes it's difficult to remember which films just have a rude scene in them for no good reason.
Yeah.
We might have spoke about this before, that when there was a big hoo-ha about Barbarella when I was growing up, I taped it off BBC Two. I missed the first 5 minutes, watched the whole thing, was like, well, that's not even rude. Because I missed the first 5 minutes. Imagine if years later I thought, I'll finally get around to watching it on a plane, and all of a sudden, wait a minute. But the idea, I'm not sure that's wise, because if you cover your son's eyes, he'll still be able to hear what's going off, but just not see it.
Most airplane, it's not like they have speakers on the screens on the. You don't travel much, do you, Steve?
I no, but if you're watching it on your own laptop or thing and your headphones aren't plugged in enough, then you can hear it. I just think it is a worry that if you don't see what's going on, but you hear it and then you hear the phrase flaps to manual, you are going to make a mistake when you get older in life with a lady. Man has sex. Well, this is not me. This is just what the Daily Star covers.
I stepped on the run up to your joke there almost, but you got it.
We double back and did flaps to manual.
My son watched before he was a little too young to watch Deadpool, but on an airplane, a guy was watching it in the row ahead of us, and so he watched it in silence.
So he's got no idea what any of the words are.
Just the scene, the heads explode and all that. And there's some pretty racy scenes in Deadpool as well, where they're having there's no nudity, but they're bumping and grinding. I mean, I don't know what they were doing because I haven't gotten to that episode of Sex Education yet. But
yeah, but they're doing something, just getting the step count up, probably.
Yeah. All right. So what's the story?
Man has sex with mate's dog in public before destroying church nativity scene in Florida, of course. But
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we all have our own ways of celebrating Christmas, our own special traditions, and for this guy, that's how you do that. I mean, I feel sorry. The bloody thing, piss off! Oh God!
Sponsored by Team Dogs.
I feel sorry for this advert. Do you know what I mean? So, man has that, and you go, oh dear, he looks okay about it. No, this is the guy who's.
That's not the dog.
No, that's the dog.
Did you do that?
No, that's them. I love the fact that they've protected his privacy by blacking out the eyes, which is weird because the Daily Star also does the same thing with Prince Harry. So for a second, you just see some ginger hair and the eyes blocked out. Oh, this story took a turn. What else is happening? There's people boil dirty pants in hotel kettles in disgusting travel hack. Apparently, this guy doesn't mind it though. Look, has a little It's got some top notes of someone he once knew.
It's around.
He's fresh from the dog into a hotel room. And I think this is probably the last one I was going to do. Elon Musk's monkey Disneyland under investigation for deaths as 1,500 animals. I don't know what he's doing with that many monkeys, but I kind of understand where most of the tweets are coming from now. He promised they wouldn't be bots, but I think he's having a crack at, an infinite number of monkeys with an infinite number of typewriters will do the complete works of Shakespeare. 1,500 under the guidance of Elon Musk will come up with the kind of stuff you see on Twitter these days. They got to it before they did Shakespeare.
They will end democracy effectively. Yeah, apparently the little neuron link things that he's putting in people in the monkey brains is making their heads explode. And that might be a bad thing because he's rolling it out to humans soon.
Before when he was just PayPal, Tesla, sending stuff into space, and then he wants to come up with brain chips. I remember thinking I don't think it's going to work for ages, but But the way he's done Twitter, now he's coming up with brain chips. I just think, no, I don't think I want that guy being able to put any tech in anyone's brains.
Yeah.
I mean, the monkeys I care less about, but.
Oh. That's going to get us in trouble. I love monkeys.
Yeah.
I love monkeys.
The monkeys.
Maybe too much.
Well, you want to go to Florida, see what they do for Christmas over there.
Yeah, but no, because there's actually been a federal investigation launched into the monkey head blowing or dying. And now they're saying that's revenge from the government for exposing the election interference.
But I would probably argue if you don't want people to investigate the number of monkeys you've exploded, don't explode any monkeys.
See, that's what they want you to think, Steve. You need to do the research.
Yeah. No, I think I've lived the research by not exploding any monkeys. And so far, I've not been investigated for exploding monkeys. So I think that proves that it's a good way of going about it.
See, you've just made me more left-wing again.
It happens.
Jesus Christ. Right. Well, we better go. We will be back. I don't know if we might take a break over Christmas, but we'll be back next week, I think, won't we?
Yeah. And hopefully I'll feel healthier. I'm off to Steam. That's what I'm going to go and do. And then complain about my man flu some more. There
you go. Well done. So engage in the chat. Share the video. This will go out. It's gone out. You're watching it after it's gone out. And we'll be back next week.
Or the week after.
Whichever comes first.
Till then.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.